in the world. Former Deputy National Security Advisor to President George W. Bush, currently a senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations, Elliot Abrams. Elliot, welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Good to be here.
All right. Well, the president went on his apology tour. The president said he'd stop torture. He said he'd close Gitmo. And are we better off for it?
No, I think you can show that by poll data, for one thing, that there is not more respect for the United States, particularly in the Middle East. This idea of, reaching out to Iran and Syria and enemy regimes like that has failed to convince anybody, friend or foe, and that's the problem. You get less respect from your foes, and your friends feel weaker.
All right, we were discussing in the last segment about Iran and their proxy wars that they're fighting. I mean, through Hezbollah, all these different radical groups. They've got their tentacles all over the place causing trouble. There are numerous threats that they want to wipe Israel off the map. I believe them. I mean, we need to only go back, to my mind, to the 1930s, and I see some analogies here. So the question is, if Bibi Netanyahu is right, and we're 1 year away from the mullahs and Ahmadinejad having nuclear weapons, what does that mean we have to do?
Well, I think it means that we need to prepare for the possibility of a strike on Iran. The Iranians don't believe us, they're not scared. The Ayatollahs are not scared. They do not believe the speeches the president is making. All options are on the table. Trust me, I have your back, all of that. It's one of the reasons that I think negotiations are not going to work. They don't believe it. These threats don't have credibility. I think we need to make them credible, and I think the president needs to be more specific in saying, and he took a step in the right direction in Israel when he said containment won't work. I think he needs to say to them very clearly, you will never get a nuclear weapon. You will never get a nuclear weapon. We will stop you, and we will use military power to do it when it comes to that.
Look, I don't think anybody in this country wants to get bogged down in Iran and a decade-long war. Here's what my friends in the military tell me, that the Iranians are not stupid, that they have built these facilities, these nuclear facilities. They're way underground. We would need massive amount of bombing. We have trouble in terms of flyovers, refueling. There are certain military obstacles. It would make it a very difficult job, a lot of bunker buster bombs, maybe a ton of them. This would be a long, sustained effort. They have a military, they have an air force. Militarily, how hard is it?
I think that's an overstatement, the stuff that you've been hearing. Look, the Israelis can do some of this, and we're, 20 times more powerful than Israel. If little Israel can set them back for several years, the massive U.S. Air Force and Navy air power through cruise missiles, through bombers, can set them back for more time than that. The Iranian Air Force, they got F-4s and F-5s from the United States from the days of the Shah. It's not such a tremendous threat. Look, as you said, nobody wants a long war. But the Israelis are thinking about a one-day strike. There's no reason why we can't think about that kind of thing, a more powerful 1 or 2 or 3 day strike.
Elliot,
we're not talking about a month here.
Wouldn't we want to knock them out completely, get it over with?
Well, I don't know if you can do 100% of it, but you can do a lot of it. And remember, once we've done it once, we can say to them, we told you, you're not going to get a nuclear weapon. You didn't believe it. Now we've knocked most of this stuff out. If you try to rebuild it, this is just going to get repeated. After the strike, we really have credibility.
All right. Elliot Abrams, good to see you again, sir. Thank you for being with us.
Good to see you.
And coming up next.